Ethan Reed ran across the rocky plain, the wind biting at his face. The sun had already begun to set, casting long shadows across the hills. He had been chasing the faint cry of a dragon for hours and he finally saw it. A small dragonling no larger than a dog, cornered by strange metallic creatures that glinted in the fading light. Ethan's heart pounded. He knew he was just a human, no match for anything beyond a simple gun or a small shield, but he couldn't turn away. "Hey!" he shouted, waving his arms. "Leave it alone." The creatures turned, their eyes glowing. They were faster than Ethan, moving with strange precision. The dragonling hissed, trying to puff up its tiny body, but it trembled with fear. Ethan reached the edge of the rocks and felt the familiar weight of his weapon in his hands. It was old and simple, a standard plasma rifle meant for small defense, but in his hands it felt like a promise. "Stay behind me," he told the dragonling. "I won't let them hurt you." The creatures didn't answer. They moved in unison, circling him. Ethan fired, the blue energy bolts sparking against their armor. One fell, jerking as its circuits fried. The others advanced faster. He ducked behind a boulder, catching his breath. He could hear the dragonling whimper behind him and guilt washed over him. If he failed, it would die and there would be no one to care for it. He looked around. There was no one to help him. No backup, no army, no other humans, just him and a tiny dragon. He swallowed hard, feeling fear, but he pushed it down. Fear would not save the dragon. Only courage, small as it was, could. He took a deep breath and charged again. This time he aimed carefully, letting the creatures get closer before firing. Sparks flew and 2 of them fell to the ground. The dragonling's eyes widened. It understood, somehow, that this human meant it no harm. For a moment Ethan saw the trust in its gaze. That was enough to make him fight harder. He didn't notice the 3rd creature moving behind him until it was almost upon him. It struck him with a metallic arm and he went sprawling. Pain exploded in his side, but he gritted his teeth and rolled away. His weapon skidded across the rocks. The dragonling let out a loud roar, charging forward in a tiny burst of courage. Ethan's chest swelled with admiration. The little creature was brave, even if it didn't know how to defend itself fully. Ethan grabbed the dragonling as the last creature lunged. He threw it over his shoulder, feeling the little body shake against him. The creature's wings flapped weakly and Ethan ran, knowing the rocky terrain was not on their side. He could hear the whirring of the machines behind him, faster and stronger than anything human made, but he did not stop. He reached a small ravine, dark and narrow. He paused, trying to catch his breath. The dragonling clung to him, trembling. "We're almost safe," he whispered, even though he wasn't sure. His leg burned from the earlier strike and his arm ached. His vision blurred from exhaustion, but he refused to give up. A shadow moved across the rocks above. Ethan looked up and froze. A larger dragon appeared, its scales glinting gold in the sunlight. Its eyes were fierce, but they softened when they saw the dragonling. The dragon roared, a deep sound that made the ground tremble. The metallic creatures paused, clearly aware of the new presence. Ethan felt a small surge of hope. The larger dragon landed in front of him, wings folding with a soft rustle. The dragonling leapt from Ethan's arms to the larger dragon's back. It was safe for now. Ethan smiled despite the pain. But his relief was short-lived. The creatures regrouped, more of them coming over the horizon. They were faster and smarter than before. Ethan knew he couldn't run forever. He made a decision. "I can't let them get the dragon," he muttered. He picked up a sharp rock and threw it, hitting one of the creatures in the eye. It screeched and stumbled, giving him a few seconds. He looked around, thinking quickly. There was a ledge nearby. If he could slow them down, the dragonling could escape. He shouted again, this time to attract their attention. "Over here. Come at me if you want it." The creatures hesitated, confused by the humans' daring. They had expected fear, hesitation, weakness. Instead, they found a man willing to stand alone. That hesitation was enough. The larger dragon flapped its wings, rising into the sky with the dragonling clinging on. Ethan felt a strange mix of pride and fear. The creatures turned toward him fully now. He knew this was the end. There was no escape. Still he stood tall. He raised his hands, ready to fight with everything he had left. His life did not belong to him anymore. It belonged to the dragonling, to the promise he made. The first strike hit him in the chest, knocking the wind out of him. Pain exploded and his knees hit the ground. He could hear his own heartbeat loud in his ears. Another strike followed. He didn't resist much. He only thought of the dragonling soaring above, safe for the first time. As darkness crept at the edges of his vision, he smiled faintly. "You're safe," he whispered. That's what matters. The last thing he remembered was the golden light of the larger dragon disappearing over the horizon. Then came a quietness unlike anything he had ever known. The stars blinked faintly above, though he could not see them clearly. The pain faded, replaced by a strange warmth. A feeling of being pulled somewhere beyond the rocks, beyond the world he knew. Ethan felt a sense of peace. He had done what no one else would. He had protected the dragonling even at the cost of his life. The thought comforted him as darkness closed around him. He did not know where he would go, only that he had done the right thing. And somewhere, deep in the quiet, a new story was beginning, one that Ethan could not yet see. Ethan opened his eyes and found himself in a place that made no sense. The air was warm and soft, like a gentle wind that carried no scent of dirt or metal. He tried to sit up, but his body felt different, lighter, stronger, almost unfamiliar. The last thing he remembered was the darkness of the rocky plain, the pain and the golden light of the dragon above. Now he was somewhere else entirely. Around him were massive figures, taller than any human he had ever seen. Their scales shimmered like gemstones, reds, golds, deep blues, and their eyes glowed with quiet intelligence. They moved with grace, their wings folded behind them, and they watched him carefully. Ethan swallowed hard, trying to speak, but his throat was dry. "Where am I?" he asked, his voice small. One of the figures stepped forward. Its scales were silver, and its eyes held a kind of wisdom that seemed ancient. "You are here because of what you did," it said. Its voice was deep but soft, echoing slightly in the hall. "You protected a dragon child without hesitation. That act has brought you to the inner sanctum of the Dragon Kingdom." Ethan blinked. "Dragon Kingdom? I'm just a human. I don't belong here." "You belong wherever courage leads you," another figure said, a gold-scaled dragon with wings that seemed like sunlight folded into itself. "Few humans ever earn the right to stand in this hall. Even fewer survive the journey here." Ethan looked around. The hall stretched far beyond what his eyes could measure. Massive pillars rose like mountains, carved from crystal that reflected light in rainbow patterns. The floor was smooth and cool under his feet. Strange symbols glowed faintly along the walls, moving like liquid fire. Every sense he had told him this place was alive, but not like a forest or an animal. It was alive in a way that made humans feel small and important at the same time. I don't understand," Ethan said. He felt a shiver, not of cold but of awe. "Why me?" The silver dragon lowered its head. "Because you chose others over yourself. That choice is rare even among our own kind. You did not seek glory. You did not think of reward. You protected what was helpless. That is why you are here." Ethan's mind struggled to follow. A dragon kingdom? Guardians? Inner sanctum? Everything he knew about the universe seemed small compared to this. And yet, somewhere inside he felt calm. Somehow he belonged. The gold dragon spoke again. "You must understand, human. What awaits you here is not punishment. But you will be tested. You will be judged, not for strength, not for speed, not for fire, but for your heart. Only then can you know your place among us." Ethan nodded slowly. "Tested, okay. I'll do it. I just want to know the dragonling is safe." "The one you save thrives," the silver dragon said. "It remembers you. Your courage became part of its life. That is why the guardians have watched you and why you are here now." Before Ethan could respond, the ground beneath him began to shift. He felt weightless for a moment, as if the floor had disappeared. Then, suddenly he was standing in a circle of light. Around him, visions flickered like echoes of memory. He saw the rocky plain, the metallic creatures, and the dragonling. He saw himself running, fighting, falling, and standing again. Every choice he made replayed before him. "You will face your trial," the gold dragon said. "Not as punishment but as understanding. Do you have courage enough to see yourself without fear?" Ethan took a deep breath. The visions swirled faster, showing him moments of fear he had tried to forget. Every failure he had ever experienced, every time he had been too weak to help someone, now surrounded him like a storm. He trembled, but he did not run. He could not. The dragonling depended on him. His choices had brought him here. He would face them. Hours seemed to pass, though time felt strange. The visions forced him to relive pain, loss, and doubt. Each time he made the same choice, he acted to protect others even when it meant personal risk. He refused rewards, ignored self-preservation, and focused on those who could not defend themselves. With each decision he felt stronger, not physically but inside. The fear that had always held him back became smaller, easier to manage. Finally the visions faded. Ethan stood alone in the light, breathing heavily, exhausted but proud. Around him, the dragon guardians watched silently. They were not smiling, not nodding, not praising. And yet, he felt a weight lift, a sense of acceptance that he could not explain. The silver dragon lowered its head again. Human, you have shown what your kind often forget. Strength is not only in muscle or fire. Strength is in courage, in selflessness, in the choice to protect when nothing asks you to. You are rare, and rare beings are needed here. Ethan felt a strange warmth in his chest. So, I'm not being punished? He asked, his voice shaky. No, the gold dragon said. You are being recognized. And soon you will be changed. Not because you failed, but because the Dragon Kingdom needs humans like you. You will not be the same, but you will be more than you ever imagined. Ethan took a deep breath, feeling both fear and hope. He thought of the dragonling soaring above the plane, safe. He thought of the creatures that had tried to take it and of the choice he had made. That choice had brought him here, to a place humans were never meant to enter. And yet, he was not afraid. The silver dragon's eyes softened. Rest now, human. You have done enough for one day. Tomorrow, your trial will continue, and you will learn what it truly means to stand among the guardians. Ethan nodded, finally allowing himself to sit. The light shifted, wrapping around him like a gentle wind. He felt weightless again, but not in the way that made him fall. This was lighter, freer, like floating above the earth. For the first time in his life he felt safe, not because danger was gone, but because he knew he had done the right thing. And somewhere, deep inside the Dragon Kingdom, the Guardians watched, knowing that this human had already proven more than many dragons ever could. Ethan closed his eyes, letting the light carry him into sleep. Whatever came next, he was ready. Ethan woke to a soft glow surrounding him. The hall of the Dragon Guardians was quieter than before, but the air seemed heavier, filled with expectation. The silver and gold dragons stood nearby, their eyes observing him carefully. Ethan rubbed his shoulders and tried to stretch. His body felt different again, not injured, not weak, but strange. Stronger, somehow, but still human. You are ready for the next step, the silver dragon said. This trial will not test your body. It will test your choices, your heart, and your will. Few humans face this, and fewer succeed. Are you prepared? Ethan nodded. I will do whatever it takes. He had already faced fear once. He could do it again. The gold dragon lowered its head. Close your eyes, human. Do not resist what you see. Ethan obeyed. The world around him disappeared, and suddenly he was in a place that felt familiar, yet unreal. He was back on the rocky plain, but it was darker, colder. The dragonling he had saved appeared before him, but it looked hurt, frightened. Metallic creatures were everywhere, and Ethan's body felt weak again, as if he had never trained. You are not here to fight, a voice echoed around him. You are here to see who you are. The dragonling cried out, and Ethan ran to it instinctively. As he reached out, the scene shifted. Now he saw himself failing in countless moments. Children on a distant world, lost because he could not help. Villagers in danger while he hesitated. Friends he had abandoned because fear held him back. Each vision stabbed him with guilt. He dropped to his knees, trying to hold back tears. A winged figure appeared, another dragon, its scales a deep emerald. Do not despair, human, it said softly. This is not punishment. This is truth. To be a guardian, you must see your own heart clearly. Will you accept your choices even when they were wrong? Ethan swallowed hard. He thought of the dragonling in his arms, alive because he had acted. He thought of every moment he had made a difference, however small. He realized the truth. He had failed before, but he had never stopped trying. Courage was not the absence of mistakes. Courage was continuing to act when the world was uncertain. The vision changed again. He was now facing the metallic creatures on the plain, but this time he was different. He could not use a weapon. He could not strike. He could only act with his words and presence. He stepped forward and shouted, "Leave it alone." His voice echoed with power he did not understand. The creatures hesitated, confused by his determination. The dragonling ran to safety behind him. Ethan did not know why, but the creatures slowly retreated. The emerald dragon spoke again. You see, human? Strength is not always measured by fire or claws or weapons. Your courage, your choice to protect, even without power, defines you more than your body ever could. Ethan breathed heavily. He felt pride, yes, but also humility. He understood now that his past failures had taught him to value life, to act for others. That lesson was his true strength. Suddenly he was standing in a room of mirrors. Each mirror reflected a different version of him. In one he was a warrior with mighty armor, striking down enemies. In another he was a healer, comforting those in pain. In a third he was afraid, hiding from every challenge. Each reflection spoke, each told a truth. You must choose which you truly are, the gold dragon's voice said from nowhere. Not who you imagine, not who you wish to be, but who you are when no one watches, when the stakes are highest. Ethan looked into the mirrors. He saw himself protecting the dragonling, standing alone against creatures stronger than him. He saw his fear, yes, but he also saw his courage. He saw the small acts that mattered more than any battle won. He realized that the reflection of the human who had acted without hesitation, the one who risked everything for another life, was the real him. I am the one who protects, Ethan said quietly. Even when I am afraid. Even when I might fail. That is who I am. The mirrors shimmered and disappeared. The emerald dragon lowered its head. Then you have passed the trial. You have seen yourself as we see you. You have chosen courage, selflessness, and heart. That is what makes a guardian. Ethan blinked. He felt a warmth spread through him, a quiet strength that was different from any physical power. His body felt steady, his mind clear. He realized he understood something important. Being a guardian was not about fire, wings, or claws. It was about choices. It was about protecting what mattered most, even if the world expected him to fail. The gold dragon appeared before him. Now you will begin your training, human. Not in the ways of combat alone, but in understanding. You will learn the history of our kingdom, our rules, and our fears. And you will learn that courage can change everything, even for dragons. Ethan nodded, feeling a sense of purpose he had never known. He thought of the dragonling, safe and alive, soaring above the plains. That little creature had trusted him, and now he would not fail the larger responsibility that had been given to him. You have earned your place among us, the silver dragon said. Not because you are strongest, but because you are willing to stand when others cannot. That is rare among humans, rarer still among dragons. Remember this, human. Your heart is your power. Ethan smiled faintly, the first true smile in a long time. I understand, he said. I will not forget. I will do whatever it takes to protect those who cannot protect themselves. The light of the hall shifted again, softer now, more welcoming. Ethan felt calm. The trial had been difficult, but he had survived it. More than that, he had learned who he truly was. Courage was not about winning battles. It was about choosing the right action, even when failure was certain. As he stood, the dragons around him watched quietly. They did not need to speak. They had seen the truth. A human had passed a trial even many dragons might fail. And for the first time, Ethan realized that he was no longer just a human who had saved a dragonling. He was becoming something more. Ethan felt a strange warmth spreading through his body as he stepped deeper into the hall of the Dragon Guardians. The air shimmered with colors he had never seen before, deep purples, soft golds, and flashes of silver light that danced across the walls. The dragons around him stood quietly, their eyes reflecting both curiosity and respect. You have passed the trial, human, the gold dragon said, its voice calm and steady. Now begins the true transformation. You will not leave here as the man you were. You will become something more, something the Dragon Kingdom has never seen before. Ethan's heart raced. More? What do you mean? The silver dragon approached, its scales reflecting a pale blue glow. You will remain human, but you will carry the essence of the guardians within you. Your body and mind will be strengthened. You will gain understanding, abilities, and insight far beyond what your kind normally possesses. This is not a gift lightly given, nor a punishment. You earned it. Ethan hesitated. The idea of change both excited and frightened him. He had already risked his life for a dragonling. Now he was being asked to become something entirely new. I'm ready, he said finally, his voice firm. The gold dragon lowered its massive head. Then lie down on the floor. Let the transformation begin. Ethan obeyed. The ground beneath him felt soft, almost like water, yet solid. A gentle hum rose through the hall, filling his ears, and he felt a pull at his chest, like a light breeze moving through his bones. The dragons circled him slowly, their wings spreading wide, reflecting the shifting colors of the hall. A silver beam of light touched his forehead. At first it burned slightly, but the warmth was not painful. It spread across his body, weaving through his arms and legs, wrapping around his heart and mind. Images flashed in his mind, memories of dragons he had never met, battles he had not fought, lessons he had never learned. He understood them instantly, as if the knowledge had always been inside him, waiting. He felt his body changing. He was stronger, faster, and more aware of his surroundings than ever before. He could feel the presence of the dragons around him, not just by sight or sound, but through a kind of connection, as if their thoughts reached his mind. He could sense the hall itself, the colors, the movement, the patterns of light and energy. Do you understand now? The gold dragon asked. This is what it means to be a guardian. You are not just human, nor are you just dragon. You are a bridge between our worlds. You carry the courage and choices of humanity, and the strength and wisdom of the Dragon Kingdom. Ethan opened his eyes and felt a deep clarity. He could see every detail of the hall, the smallest crack in the crystal pillars, the faint glow of energy flowing beneath the floor, the motions of the dragons around him. He could sense their feelings: calm, curiosity, pride. He smiled softly. I understand, he said. I feel it, everything. The silver dragon lowered its head closer to him. Your training will continue, but now you are ready to act. You will learn not only the history of dragons but also how to protect what is precious across worlds. The dragonling you saved will soon be your first test as a guardian, not as a human but as something more. Ethan nodded. A mix of nervousness and excitement filled him. I won't fail. I won't let it down. The gold dragon spread its wings. You already proved that courage. Now you will prove wisdom, patience, and understanding. You are the first human to achieve this. Others may follow, but none will walk this path exactly as you have. As the dragon stepped back, the hall shifted around him again. The walls shimmered and changed, showing scenes of the Dragon Kingdom through centuries: conflicts, discoveries, celebrations, and tragedies. Ethan could understand each moment, each choice made by dragons over hundreds of years. Knowledge flowed into him, and he realized that his mind had expanded in ways impossible before. He felt a sudden tug at his chest. A small, familiar presence appeared, a soft glow that grew into the dragonling he had saved. It fluttered its tiny wings and landed near him, looking up with bright, trusting eyes. Ethan crouched and reached out, feeling the small warmth of its body. You've changed, the dragonling chirped in its soft, musical voice. But you're still you. Ethan smiled, feeling pride and love. I'm still me. But now I can protect you and many others in ways I never could before. The silver dragon stepped forward. You are ready to leave the sanctum, Ethan. Your role is no longer limited to a single moment of bravery. You are now a guardian, a bridge between humans and dragons, a protector of life in all its forms. Use this gift wisely. Ethan felt a deep sense of responsibility settle over him. The warmth of the transformation still lingered, filling him with energy and focus. He could feel that the dragons around him trusted him. They believed he would carry their legacy forward, even if he was human. That trust mattered more than power. The gold dragon's voice echoed through the hall one last time. Remember this, human. Courage and choice are your true powers. Knowledge and strength are tools, but heart is what defines a guardian. Never forget why you began this journey. Ethan rose to his feet. He felt different, not just in body or mind but in spirit. The hall seemed smaller now, as if it had expanded for him to grow. He could see paths that led to other parts of the Dragon Kingdom and beyond. Adventure awaited, and he was ready. He looked at the dragonling, who nuzzled his hand. Let's go, he whispered. There's work to do and we'll do it together. The dragons around him lowered their heads in acknowledgement. Ethan understood now that he was no longer just a human who had saved a dragonling. He had become something more, a guardian, a protector, a bridge between worlds. And as he stepped forward, leaving the sanctum behind, he knew this was only the beginning. The Dragon Kingdom had changed, the human world had changed, and he had changed too. Courage had brought him here, but wisdom, heart, and choice would guide him forward. Ethan stepped out of the inner sanctum, the dragonling fluttering at his side. The light of the hall faded behind him, and the vast expanse of the Dragon Kingdom stretched before him. Towering mountains of crystal, rivers of glowing energy, and forests that shimmered with strange light filled the horizon. The air was alive with a quiet hum of power. Ethan felt it all, not as a stranger but as part of it. He looked down at the dragonling. We're ready, he said. It's time to see what humans can really do. The dragonling chirped and flapped its tiny wings. It had grown stronger too, but it still trusted him completely. Ethan felt a swell of pride. He had started as just a human, small and fragile, but now he had become something more. He was a bridge between two worlds, a protector who could stand among dragons. Ahead, a group of dragon elders gathered. They were larger, older, and filled with wisdom that had lasted centuries. Ethan noticed they watched him closely, their eyes curious, cautious, and respectful. He realized that this was the moment when the Dragon Kingdom would truly judge humanity. Not by strength, not by weapons, but by heart. Ethan stepped forward. I am Ethan Reed, he said, voice steady. I am a guardian, and I am here to protect, to learn, and to show that humans can be trusted. The eldest dragon, A massive figure with silver and bronze scales lowered its head. Humans are fragile. They are unpredictable. They have little power compared to dragons. And yet, one human has stood where most dragons would hesitate. One human has chosen courage over fear, choice over survival. Ethan looked around. Many dragons shifted uneasily. Some whispered to one another, their wings flicking nervously. Others simply stared, trying to understand what a human had done that they had not. He knew they struggled to see humanity the way he saw it, brave, selfless, capable of unexpected greatness. The dragonling chirped, then flew to Ethan's shoulder. "He saved me," it said softly as if the dragons could hear it. "He risked everything so I could live. That is what humans can do." The eldest dragon's eyes softened. "So it is true," it said. "We have underestimated humans. They are not strong in the ways we measure. They do not breathe fire or soar with wings. But they have courage, the courage to act when all seems lost. They have hearts that will not yield. And they have loyalty even when it costs them everything." Other dragons stepped forward, their expressions changing from doubt to curiosity. "Can all humans be like him?" one asked. "No," Ethan said honestly. "Not all. But some can. Courage is a choice. And choice is the most powerful thing any being can have." The dragons were silent, considering his words. For centuries they had valued strength above all else. Now they realized that courage, selflessness, and loyalty mattered more. Strength could protect, but it could not inspire. Only a willing heart could do that. The eldest dragon spread its wings. "Then let it be known," it said. "The Dragon Kingdom will observe humans differently from this day forward. They will not be measured by size or strength, but by the courage and choices they show. And this human, Ethan Reed, has taught us that lesson." Ethan bowed slightly, feeling the weight of their acknowledgement. He had never sought recognition. He had only wanted to protect a dragonling. And yet, here he was, showing an entire kingdom that humans could matter in ways dragons had never imagined. The dragonling nuzzled his cheek. "You did it," it said. "You changed them." Ethan smiled. "We did it," he corrected. "It's not just me. It's every choice I've ever made, every moment I tried to help. That's what matters." As he walked through the glowing forests and across crystal rivers, Ethan noticed dragons observing him differently. They nodded, stepped aside, or even offered gentle words. There was a new respect in their eyes, a recognition that humans were not weak or insignificant. They could choose, and sometimes choice was stronger than any fire or claw. Ethan understood now that his journey had changed more than himself. The Dragon Kingdom had learned that courage could come in any form. Humans, fragile and unpredictable, could still stand where dragons would not. They could act even when the odds seemed impossible, and in doing so they could inspire greatness in others. The eldest dragon spoke again, its voice echoing through the mountains. "Let the humans and dragons walk together. Let our worlds learn from one another. For strength is not only in wings or claws. Strength is in heart, in courage, and in choice." Ethan nodded, feeling the truth of those words in his soul. He knew the path ahead would not always be easy. There would be challenges, conflicts, and misunderstandings. But now he had the trust of the Dragon Kingdom and the bond of the dragonling he had saved. He was no longer alone. He looked up at the sky, golden and bright, the same sun that had once shone over the rocky plain where he had fought to protect the dragonling. He felt a deep connection to both his human past and the world of dragons he had entered. Both were part of him now, and both depended on his courage. "Let's go home," Ethan said softly, speaking to the dragonling and himself. "It's time to show both our worlds what humans can do." The dragonling chirped and took off, flying beside him as he ran across the glowing fields. Ethan felt alive in a way he never had before. He had died to protect a life, and in doing so, he had awakened a new understanding in a kingdom that had thought humans were too weak to matter. The dragons watched them go, their eyes full of wonder and newfound respect. They had learned something valuable, that courage was not measured in fire, wings, or strength. Courage was measured in choice, in selflessness, and in the willingness to stand when others could not. And somewhere deep in the heart of the Dragon Kingdom, the elders whispered among themselves, knowing that this human, Ethan Reed, had changed the way they would see humanity forever. Ethan looked at the dragonling who circled above him and smiled. The journey was only beginning, but one thing was certain. The Dragon Kingdom had learned the truth. Humans were more than they seemed. And courage, even from the smallest of beings, could shape worlds.